Hi everyone, I'm Tom Rossmassler.
I'm Jennifer Martin.
And we're HempStone. Today we're going to talk to you a little bit about the Howland Hemp home in Goshen, Massachusetts, the first Hempcrete home in Massachusetts. And this was done in concert with Village Carpentry and Landscaping. HempStone helped them with a number of things. We helped source and supply the Hempcrete, which included the hemp and the lime binder. We also helped them with design details for marrying the high-performance green home with natural building materials. We helped train Village Carpentry and Landscaping crew on how to install Hempcrete, mix and install. And we also helped on the lime plaster by supplying the materials, training the crew, and bringing labor to bear in concert with Village Carpentry and Landscaping to finish the building.
Hi, I'm Shelby Howland of Village Carpentry and Landscaping. This is my home that I'm building for my family, and it's a 1,600 square foot home. We've got 2 stories and a basement. It's a timber frame that my brother and crew cut, and that's what's being the structure for supporting the Hempcrete building that we have here. It's 11 inches of Hempcrete clad in natural lime plaster inside and out, and it's a 3-bedroom, but one of the bedrooms is going to be an office for now, for running the business out of.
Shelby runs Village Carpentry as a second-generation family business. His mom started construction nearly 30 years ago, and now both sons, Shelby and Winter, have stepped into leadership roles and taken the company to new heights with a focus on local materials and affordable construction. With this Hempcrete home, Village Carpentry gains experience in Hempcrete and lime plaster and have made use of local timber, lime, sand, and stone throughout the house. Winter leads the construction of this home, while Shelby focuses on connecting clients to the promise of naturally built homes throughout the Northeast. Inspired by the performance characteristics of Hempcrete, Shelby has plans to start a sister company, Highland Walls, using Hempcrete panels to bring natural building out of the land of the niche and into the mainstream. The imperative for natural building materials has never been more timely than it is today. This home showcases Hempcrete and lime plaster, yet more importantly, illustrates how using a complementary palette of natural building materials leads to greater performance, beauty, and a net positive ecological impact.
Hi, Tom from HempStone, inside the Village Carpentry and Landscaping build for Shelby Howland, and want to talk briefly a little bit about the Hempcrete itself, which was cast in place around this timber frame structure with a subframe inside of 2x4s for the Hempcrete to lock in and around. And the mixing of the Hempcrete and installation took 4 weeks, mostly because of the timber frame, which probably added another week just to work around all the nuances of the K-bracing and the awning on the front of the building.
Once installation was complete, HempStone began tracking moisture content of each wall to guide the schedule for interior plaster. These Hempcrete walls needed an average of 12 weeks to dry. Now that we're inside, let's take a look around. Nestled in the center of the home is the stairway, and beyond that to the north, the office room where Tom was just sitting. As we climb westward to the 2nd floor, we leave an open and bright common area below us. Light spills into this opening from the south through high-performance tilt-turn European windows, and local wood accents of exposed timber framing, pine boards, and cherry flooring will accent the local lime plaster over these Hempcrete walls. From the top of the stairs heading north is a 2nd bedroom, which is also bathed in a beautiful array of local, abundant, and natural building materials. In addition to Hempcrete, this project also makes use of blown cellulose in exterior walls where complex framing junctions made Hempcrete installation challenging. This is yet another good example of a complementary building material that helps this structure be carbon beneficial. Downstairs, we bask in the primary gathering spaces. On the eastern end of the 1st floor is a music nook, designed to accommodate a family heirloom of a grand piano and several stringed instruments. Shelby and his wife Donovan plan to take full advantage of the moisture-regulating characteristics of Hempcrete for these much-treasured possessions. Along the west wall is an open kitchen. And with proper air detailing throughout the building envelope, including the Centello Smart Membrane, a small wood stove will be more than sufficient to keep the space warm on even the coldest of days.
So one of the great things about Hempcrete is it's really allowed us to branch out as a company more in the direction that I've always wanted Village Carpentry to go, which is natural building and sustainable construction. This has all been made possible by HempStone, which has introduced me to the material of Hempcrete and has given us tons of fantastic advice and consulting work on this material. And really the most fantastic thing for me is it has given me the opportunity to think about starting a new company, Howland Walls, which will focus exclusively on producing Hempcrete panels as a way of creating an affordable, efficient product for the residential market that will help expand the scope of carbon sequestering building throughout hopefully the whole Northeast region.
After some conversations about how to use local natural building materials, we decided to use some lime plaster for both the exterior and the interior of the building. And so this is a lime plaster finish coat. And basically what lime plaster does is it acts as a sacrificial layer to keep bulk moisture from the hempcrete. And it does that beautifully. And used it in conjunction with hempcrete in order to create a vapor open, robust, natural, non-toxic, and pest-free structure and wall finish.
Yeah, so those are all great points, but really the thing that I like about lime plaster is it was so much fun to install, and it actually went surprisingly quick. So, it has a lot of great properties, but one of the things that a lot of people miss about the building trade is that it's an activity. And there's a lot of systems that people use when they're doing construction that are, especially in the modern era, that have become, much more mechanical and industrialized in a way that sort of loses the human aspect of any kind of job like this. And one of the great things about lime plaster is it's a very physically engaging and enjoyable thing to work with and apply.
So I'd like to talk to you about the importance of local sustainable materials as a solution for reaching a carbon beneficial structure. And the reason that's important is that we have a responsibility as builders and designers and inhabitants of buildings to be keeping our carbon footprint as low as possible. And the way we do it in buildings is to focus on local, sustainably harvested plants and local, sustainably harvested minerals. And so what we're looking at here is a building that is dominated by these low embodied carbon materials, whether it's pine siding, pine and hemlock timber framing, hempcrete, maple finish, and things that you don't see. For example, the wood fiber and the cellulose in the ceiling in order to help insulate the roof. And these materials work together collaboratively as a natural building materials palette in order to lower the embodied carbon of this structure. Embodied carbon is separate than operational carbon. Operational carbon is the carbon that is emitted throughout the life of the building once it is built, whereas embodied carbon is the carbon that is emitted by the production, the harvesting, and the transportation to site of all the materials that are in the building. So actually that has a larger, more immediate impact on any new build. And it is worth our time to consider very carefully. We were very fortunate, both HempStone and Village Carpentry and Landscaping, to work with Chris Magwood of Endeavor Center on his new enterprise, Builders for Climate Action, on the beta test for a very simple, easy to use, understandable carbon calculator. And with that, we identified that this building above the foundation is actually a net carbon beneficial structure. That means that it actually absorbs more carbon than was emitted throughout its manufacture, harvesting, and transportation to site. That's a big deal. HempStone wishes to share love and appreciation for all of the support, collaboration, and camaraderie we've gained throughout this project from awesome building professionals from around the world. Everyone at Village Carpentry, Alex Sparrow of UK Hempcrete, Chris Magwood of Builders for Climate Action, the Northeast Sustainable Energy Association, who advocate for driving down the climate impact of the built environment, and last but certainly not least, the U.S. Hemp Building Association, who collectively champion and drive a burgeoning hemp building industry. Thank you.
Thanks for being with us today. We're very pleased to have presented the Howland Hemp Home, and also very thankful to have a texture for yet again, providing another great forum for industry leaders to present their projects, share their knowledge, and move the industry forward.
If you're interested in learning more about hemp building, check out the U.S. Hemp Building Association. For those of you who want to expand your knowledge into all natural building materials, check out HempStone.net.